everyone. Welcome to another episode of Into the Pit. I am so happy and so blessed that I have Brian Murray and Richel Stratton on my show. They're on this little show you may have heard of. It's called Ghost Hunters. I don't know if anybody watches it, but, it's all right. But I asked them both to be on here because I know that they're good friends, and I just want to get to know them. So I'll let y'all fight it out. Who wants to start? Just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and all that good stuff.
Go ahead, Richel.
Okay, so my name's Richel. I've been married for 11 years. I have two boys, a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. And when I'm not ghost hunting, I'm a dental hygienist. I grew up in Illinois, kind of all over the place. My mom liked to flip houses. And so we'd move into a place, she'd flip it, and then we'd move to another house. And I had my first paranormal experience when I was 8 in one of the houses that she was actually flipping. And I woke up in the middle of the night to someone sitting at the foot of my bed. I told my mom about it. She didn't believe me. The next night, the same person was sitting at the foot of my sister's bed. And then we kind of got into that, interest us. And, there's only so much you can do when you're 8 years old. So as we got older, probably around like 20, we started going to different investigations and different ghost hunts together. Eventually, we joined Riverbend Paranormal, and I met my best friend, and then somehow we got on Ghost Hunters. So
Wow.
That's a little quick tidbit. There you go.
You have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old.
I do.
You make me feel old because my grandkids are 10 and 5, so.
Well, I was sad because I was laying here the other day, and I was like, I have a 10-year-old. He's going to be 11 this year. And I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. Like, I don't know how he got that age, like how it happened so quickly. But
yeah, just wait, because my baby is 24 and my oldest is 28. So
yeah,
then I'm gonna hear you say that.
Man.
All right,
Brian,
Brian, your turn.
All right, I'm Brian Murray. I'm from Alton, Illinois. I've lived here all my life. I'm married to Michelle Murray. 19 years we've been married. I got two boys, 13, and one's going to be 10. Yeah, he'll be 10. I'm a construction worker. Spent some years in the Marine Corps, and I've been running Riverbend Paranormal since 2007. And that's about it for me. Got on the show from being literally stupid, I would say.
Well, I guess that's the end of the interview right there. Thanks, guys.
There you go. I had an experience too. I mean, that's what got me started. I had an experience involving a girl, an apparition, and a hurry up scene where I got out of the house. And then I've been researching and studying the paranormal since then.
Wow. So y'all are in Riverbend Paranormal together.
Yeah.
And what kind of drew y'all to be such close friends?
He's a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. But our weirdos meshed really well.
Just connected.
Actually, we went on a road trip together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we hit it off after you punched me in the mouth.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right? That's how that kind of went. He beat me to being his friend, and I was like, okay.
I'll be your friend.
I punched her about 3 to 5 minutes after I met her husband for the first time. So,
Yeah.
Okay, you got to elaborate on it. You can't just leave me hanging.
When we go on road trips, we do a lot of performance in the car. Do a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, a lot of voice overs. We have a good time. And this particular song, I was getting with it, man. Totally
enjoying it for sure.
And she started filming me, and I just did not want to be filmed at that moment. So I went to go grab the phone with my fist.
Yeah. And go ahead, sorry.
and it connected, and I felt bad, and we've been best friends ever since.
The problem was, though, that I had braces and I had just gotten them tightened.
Oh no.
So he punched me in the mouth. My teeth already were killing me and felt like they were going to fall out of my head. But when he punched me in the mouth, I had to like literally pull my bottom lip off my brackets. I was like, you dick. Like, I haven't even been able to eat. I've been sitting here saying like, I want to eat, but it hurts too bad to chew. And then you sock me in the mouth. I was like, he's like, you shouldn't have filmed me. I was like, you were getting it and it was good. Like, I was proud.
Okay, what were you singing?
I believe it was Your Betrayal, Bullet for My Valentine, right? Was it that one?
When I get into it, I get into it. I don't remember, but it was probably that.
It was either that one or House of Gold.
Okay, this is
Could have been
probably
those.
Yeah. We still listen to those songs. I don't record now. I learned my lesson. Yeah.
so. So
I felt bad.
you know, it's understandable. You're not supposed to beat up on women. Didn't your mom and daddy teach you better than that? Uh-oh. Think he just froze.
He actually told me, we just went on a road trip together.
Uh-huh.
And I was dressed slightly more feminine than I normally am. And he looked at me and says, I forget you're a girl sometimes. It's like, thank you. So when he hits me, I think it's more like, he doesn't mean to hit me. It's a reaction and I'm just close.
Now everybody believes I'm a woman beater. I'm really not. I just
But you know, we got to give you a hard time, man.
don't film me when I'm getting with it, and don't scare me because you're gonna get it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Man, you're in the wrong business to not want to be scared.
It happens. Not scared. I would get startled. I've thrown punches through the air trying to hit entities, I guess you would say. I've done that. I have.
So tell me a little bit about your military career, man.
So I was in the Marine Corps. I started off in artillery. Then I went to Special Operations Training Group, where you train guys. And then I ended up going over to Iraq with 2nd Recon.
Oh, wow.
Once that was over, decided to go ahead and get out. I mean, I still miss it. It's a part of me every day anyways. You know what I mean? It's taught me a lot of valuable things. It's taught me how to handle certain situations. And I mean, I love it, man. It helps me in my everyday life and in my investigating. So I love Marines. I love anybody that, you know, serves, supports, and that goes for police, firemen, paramedics, everybody. You know, as long as you're helping people out, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Do you know K.D. Stafford?
I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's ex-military too. So yeah, I really respect you guys because I didn't. I'll just say it. I didn't have the balls to do it. I mean, I did have some health issues, but I could have done it if I really wanted to. And you guys put your lives on the line for people that really don't appreciate it, I think. And I commend you.
Well, thank you so much, man. That means a lot. I like that. I mean, I appreciate it for sure. But like joining the military, I didn't really do it for, you know, like the pat on the back. I did it because I felt like it was necessary for me. You know what I mean? Since I was a little kid, I thought about doing those kind of things, and I want to push myself as much as possible. That's what I did. And
Yeah,
I miss it.
My grandfather was in World War II, and he was in the Navy. I used to love to listen to the stories. He always had some really funny stories to tell that they did in between fighting and stuff. But
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of funny stories. But you know, it's a chapter in my life that I'm proud of. and it'll always be there.
Well, again, thank you.
Thank you.
And, there's a lot of people out there that do jobs that are thankless jobs. And I don't know how y'all do it. I know say you loved it, but, sorry. Just not everybody feels that way, but there are a lot of people out there like that.
Yeah.
So you're in construction. What do you do in construction?
I work for an excavating company. We do a lot of plumbing. We do a lot of, anything excavating, mostly plumbing.
Ooh, what equipment do you use?
Bob, anything from track hose to bobcats to backhoes, any kind of excavator, dozers, all sorts of things. Asphalt pavers, rollers, we got it all.
See?
And Brian has promised me that he's going to let me tag along one day and tear something up.
Ooh.
I'm going to get to use one of those.
Yeah.
See,
So
you're speaking on my level because I was backhoe operator for 20 something years.
Good deal.
Learned on a John Deere, but I really enjoy a Case the best.
What we buy.
it's so funny because we've been best friends for a bit. And I always say, like, people ask me what Brian does for a living. And I'm like, have you seen that episode of Friends where no one knows what Chandler actually does? Like, they know what he does in generally, but I'm like, he's like Chandler off of that because I'm like, sometimes he's working with pipes, but I also know he pushes snow. And then I also know that he does driveways because he did mine. And I'm like, I don't know what he does. They're like, so is he like a plumber? I was like, he works with pipes. Like I've heard stories about like incidents that things have gotten on him. But so now like I can be like, he's a construction worker.
Yeah, that's all you gotta say.
When I asked you what your job title was, you said you were a laborer.
Yeah.
I'll just say I don't know. He's an enigma.
I'm a laborer that does everything for the excavating company.
I got you. Well, I worked in the water department,
Cool.
so mostly C900 pipe, but other stuff too. Oh yeah, and even when I became a foreman, I would still come out on the jobs and say, "Let me get on the machine." That's the one thing I miss the most about working for the city.
Absolutely. Really, everybody on our crew, it doesn't matter your real job title. We all just kind of do what we have to do. You'll be on backhoes one day, you'll be on track hose one day, or you'll be in the ditch putting the pipe together. As long as the job gets done, who cares?
And I learned on a wobble stick, but then I got to learn to run the four stick, and I got to learn that because I was busting concrete, so I didn't have to worry about digging anything. But you get used to moving that arm, and then I got used to it. Now, yeah, man, there's not a whole lot I can't do on a machine. It's like, oh, go ahead.
Now are so easy compared to the old ones. You know what I mean? Like John Deere controls. We got guys that can't run the John Deere but can only run the cat controls. So it's.
Oh yeah.
Dozers, fingers.
Oh yeah.
Which one are you gonna let me use?
Mini excavator. Maybe the big excavator. Big track hole.
Have some faith.
Well, you got to start out small,
You go big or go home, don't we, Brian? We don't start out small.
We need a big one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get her on the Case and let her learn on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good machine, and with the extend-a-hoe.
I wouldn't buy a machine or have a machine without an extend-a-hoe now.
Right?
Yeah.
Know a little about extend-a-hose.
I just had a feeling that was going to come up when I said it.
Extend-a-hose in my back pocket as well. I have
People.
no idea what you guys are talking about. Continue, man. Just,
Well, okay. An extend a hoe is on the backhoe. You know how you got the arm that digs? Well, it's got an extra gear that you can actually make the arm of it come out, so you can extend out a little bit further to dig.
oh,
So yeah, I
okay.
guess what it digs about 20 feet, something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
around 20.
That's not the type of extend a hoe I was talking about.
I dated a few. And people are listening to this going, "What the hell are these guys talking about? What's this got to do with ghost hunters?"
Yeah, I get
Hey,
off topic, so.
you know, I I think you should let people know who you are outside of the show, because I think people forget there's more to y'all than just the television show, or out chasing ghosts and things like that,
Yeah.
Real people.
real people, exactly.
And I'm gonna be honest. I ghost hunting is a passion of mine. I love
Yeah.
it. But sometimes I do get bored. Like sometimes I want to talk about something else, because otherwise I feel like sometimes you can do these interviews and it's just like, well, this interview kind of just seems like the same one over and over. And then I feel like a robot, but I'm like, there's not really anything I can do, because I'm explaining like how I got started. That's not going to change. But then I feel like it's like, I don't know. I feel like it gets boring. And if people watch multiple podcasts or videos of what we've done, and they listen to this, they're going to be like they're going to be like, "Oh, we've already heard this story."
Hmm. Well, that's why people should get to know y'all outside of that. Yes, this is a paranormal show. If you want to talk about your ghost encounters, that's cool with me, but let's get to know who you are. What are the things that y'all like to do outside of, paranormal investigating? You know, do, so what do you like to do?
I bake.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. So I make wedding cakes and birthday cakes for people.
Mm.
Uh, and like I just like to bake for fun. It's one of those things that, my husband always laughs because he's like, you bake all these treats, but you don't eat them, because I don't like sweets. I like salty stuff. So I'll make all these this dessert. And then my husband luckily has a really big sweet tooth. And I'm like, here, I made a whole chocolate cake. And he's like, for what? It's Tuesday. And I wanted to. And he's like, okay. So, I mean, I like to bake, and I really like going on road trips with Brian. Me and him have a lot of fun doing that. And, obviously, I like me and my kids and my husband like watching movies together. That's our big thing. We love going to the movie theater and seeing stuff. A cinematic adventure. We love all that. So
Oh,
it's kind of like, it's a little boring, but it's not as exciting as ghost hunting, but it's fun. It's relaxing.
well, that's the thing. When you can do something as a family, because I love the fact that I can share my passion for like comic book movies and cartoons and stuff with my grandkids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. What do y'all usually like to watch?
We watch everything. A lot of the comedies really our biggest one that we like. And then I don't I think that our favorite, not the kids obviously aren't included in this, but me and my husband, we like rom-coms. And I don't know if he's just saying he likes rom-coms because he knows how much I like them, because
Mm.
like, I'm a girl. But he likes those, and we really enjoy watching those movies together. But when it comes to the kids, like, we just ended up finishing the whole, like, watching all of those movies to the end game, Avengers Endgame.
Yes, yes.
And it turned out like a lot of superheroes that I thought I wasn't a fan of, I like the most. Or I was kind of like, whatever. But then I was like, he's kind of dumb. But then I watched the movie. I was like, okay, this movie's funny. And He's a good superhero. Okay.
Right?
Also, Ant-Man. I thought I was going to hate that.
Oh,
watched
I was
Loved
really shocked.
loved it. I was like,
Mhm.
this is amazing. Like,
Yeah,
so
Paul Rudd was like the best choice for that role, I think.
he's hilarious. Like, no matter what he does, I think he's so funny.
But you know, the best comedy ever, Step Brothers.
That is a good comedy. That is a good comedy.
Yes, lots of fun activities.
Uh-huh. What about you, Brian? What's your hobby?
I like horror movies.
Oh, what's your favorite?
Halloween, the first one.
Oh, Halloween.
I thought you were going to say Terrifier.
I love Terrifier. That's my newest favorite. Yeah, and I like watching RuPaul's Drag Race with my wife.
My son wants me to go on there with him if he gets on the show, because sometimes they let the parents come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. He said, Dad, would you do that with me? I said, hell yeah, I would.
RuPaul's Drag Race is really good. When Chris was deployed, me and my in-laws watched it every single time it was on. I don't know. I don't get how they are so good at their makeup, and a lot of them look more like a girl than I do. I'm like, teach me your ways. How do you contour? How do you get curves like that? I'm shaped like a box. I don't get it. But I don't know.
Well, oh, Brian, you know, I love horror movies. Some of them are getting a little bit too cliche, but
Oh yeah,
one that really freaked me out when I was a kid, and now I go back and I watch it. It's corny as all get go and real cheesy. Was Night of the Scarecrow. You ever seen that?
a long time ago. I
Yeah.
like those. Like if you haven't seen Terrifier, check that one out. It's on Netflix.
Oh well, I might have to watch that now.
Yeah, it's like it's filmed in the 2000s, obviously, but it's made to be like 80s horror, and it's it's very cheesy, but I love every minute of it, man.
Hey,
I like clowns, so I'm into clowns. I've got a bunch of clown masks. Um, I love that kind of stuff. So horror movies, honestly, if I'm not watching the RuPaul's Drag Race, it's got something to do with horror. American Horror Story. I used to watch
yes.
it, but I can't do it anymore.
Which one?
The Walking Dead, I used to do that, but I can't do it anymore. I really liked the governor, and I really liked Negan. I was on those guys' side. Like, they had the real plan. Like, Rick was a pussy.
Well, I have to watch it to
Sorry.
the end.
I'm sorry, Mr.
I've got to watch it to the end because I got to know what happens. You know, I didn't want to read the comic book, so I've got to watch the show. Although I think I need to go back and rewatch from the beginning because I'm getting lost again.
That's what me and my family have been doing since this all not being able to leave the house. We started watching Walking Dead from the beginning again. And, I think that the season with the prison was my favorite.
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, I do like the season with Negan, but I think that I like Negan for other reasons. The same reasons why all girls like Negan. Tootie patootie. But other than that, like, I liked he was just so, like, casual about it. Like, this is what's going to happen now because there are no rules except my rules in this world.
well, honestly, I thought you were going to say you liked him for his baseball bat, but
I mean,
my binge watch favorite is The Office.
oh, my sister loves The Office. She's constantly watching it.
I've never seen one episode.
Really? Oh my God, you should watch it. It is freaking hilarious.
I can't remember the last time I've watched a comedy.
Really?
I've never seen Step Brothers or whatever you're talking about.
Oh my God, that's the greatest movie ever made.
I will go. I'm telling you, man. If I get the opportunity, I will go back and watch just anything. I like scary. That's me, man. Like, if I get the opportunity, I'll go back. I'd rewatch a lot of the American Horror Stories again.
Oh yeah, what's your favorite season?
Hotel.
Oh, that was good. You know, when it first came out, I was just so, what's the word, enthralled into it, you know. It was amazing. And then they said there was going to be another season. I'm like, oh, hell yes.
That
And
first season really pulled you in. Like,
Yeah. Lately, the seasons have been they've missed.
yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about the last one.
No, such an opportunity to make. Like, I grew up in that time frame with the '80s camping and the horror and the masculine, and they missed that every bit of the way, man. In my opinion,
I'll be honest with you, I
I
didn't even finish watching it. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to. It's just I kind of lost interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to finish it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, just to say I did.
Yeah.
I don't
Take your
know.
time.
I really enjoyed the one with the witches because
Coven?
yes, Coven, because Stevie Nicks was on there. She's like my favorite. She's 72 years old. She's still sexy.
I was all about Lady, man.
About what?
I was all about Lady Gaga.
I guess if you like, men in drag, that's cool.
Whatever.
My kids like Lady Gaga. I guess because I'm an old fart. I can't. I just can't. Um, Old school.
Lady Gaga's Brian's girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My apologies.
I was gonna say you talking about his lady love, all right? So, he's gonna punch you here in a minute.
Well, good thing I'm here and you're there, huh?
Fine. There's more of her for me.
Yeah, I still think Grace Slick is sexy, and she's old enough to be my grandmother. So
There's a lot of pretty girls. Have you ever seen the show? Damn it!
no, I haven't seen that one.
I forgot. Never mind. It'll come to me in an hour.
Oh my God, dude! You know how many times that happens to me in the middle of a podcast when I've been thinking about something and then it just totally slips my mind, drives me cuckoo.
Have to do with? Let's talk this out.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
I don't know.
It has a pretty girl in it.
Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to what's going on.
Well, okay.
Like, I've never heard dialogue. I've just been looking.
Is it a silent film?
It might as well have been. She's dark-headed.
Okay, well that narrows it down.
This is cracking me up. I can see the wheels turning, like in your head.
Fresh off the block? Fresh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's move on.
Okay.
It up. Fresh off the block.
I'm
Or is it
look.
fresh off the boat?
It might have been fresh off the boat.
I'm still looking up dark-haired girls. So.
Well, we'll talk to you later because that's going to take a minute.
You know who my favorite girl is right now, and I know she's way, way too young for me, is Katie Lotz.
I don't know who that is.
Do you watch any of the comic book TV shows? No?
Such a disappointment I am.
Well, have you seen Ex Machina?
No.
No, you haven't seen that?
I have no. The last
That one?
no.
Yes, that's Katie Lotz. Oh yeah, I met her at a Comic-Con.
I'm just Googling stuff over here because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Who is that one lady that you said who's like, you said 100 years old, but you still think she's hot? What's her name?
Which one? Because there's Grace Slick, who used to be the singer for Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. You're probably looking at me like, what?
All right, Grace Slick. Got it. Okay.
And then Stevie Nicks.
I know what Stevie Nicks looks like.
Yes. She just turned 72. She still looks hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are a few of my free passes with my wife. So
Nice.
she said as long as she gets Jason Momoa, then I got a free. Or Lucifer.
Yes. Yes.
I said, hell, I'm not gay, but I would go for Lucifer.
Man. No, that's so funny because I keep saying that. But at casting, they had talked to me about how I felt about demons and things like that. And I said, this is a tricky situation for me right now because I just binge watched Lucifer. I said, so now demons and the devil, I'm feeling a whole different way about them. So I can't answer this question because Lucifer he got a shitty job. He's not that bad of a guy.
Have you seen Legends of Tomorrow?
No.
Okay, or The Flash, Arrow, any of those DC shows?
Uh-huh.
But, they had like a crossover called Crisis on Infinite Earths. And anyway, John Constantine, if you know who that character is, he, he's like, takes care of demons and stuff like that. He went to Earth 666. And while he was there, he goes and knocks on this door at this club, and Lucifer walks out. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, hell yes. That was freaking awesome.
For sure. Tell your wife that I think that they are coming out with another season of it.
I've heard a rumor about that.
Yeah, I did too. So,
I mean, we were excited because, they disappointed us when they took it off Fox, and then we heard that it was coming on Netflix. So as soon as it came on, we were watching it, and then I hear they're going to do it another season. I'm like, oh yes, yes, yes.
Well, I was talking to my in-laws, and they're like, "What are you watching?" And my father-in-law is a Baptist preacher, and I was like, "Lucifer," and she's like, my mother-in-law started laughing. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's the show called Lucifer." And she's like, "Is it like, what is it about?" I was like, I said, it's a good show. I said, it's like from his perspective. And I said, there's a cop and like, he's helping her catch bad guys and things like that. And then they started binge watching it and fell in love with it too. And they were telling me that they heard that it was coming out with another season. And I can't wait.
And it's nothing like the comic book.
I haven't read the comic book.
Yeah, well, I kind of glanced at them. I haven't read them, but it's nothing like the comic book.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You'd probably like Lucifer, Brian, if you'd watch it.
Huh? Lucifer?
Lucifer.
Yes.
Yeah, watch it. You'd like it.
You'd love Maze.
Yes, you would.
Maybe I'll have to give it a shot.
She's a pretty girl, and you'd be all about her.
Oh yeah.
And she's super she's super tough and kind of mean.
Yeah, she can kick butt. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
You guys work?
What's that?
You guys work for Netflix or whatever?
Might as well. That's about all I ever watch anymore. I get tired of watching regular TV. I mean, Wednesdays I was watching this show called Ghost Hunters. I don't know if you heard of it, but man, the season was just too short, and now I have nothing to do on Wednesday night. So thanks a lot, guys.
Didn't feel short for us.
Yeah. Like a lot of people, like we hear that a lot, that the season's short, but I was looking at which it feels short, not when we're filming it, obviously, but when it airs, it does feel short. But I was looking at other shows, and I'm like, other shows, we have the same amount of episodes, but why do I don't, so I don't understand why ours feels shorter, because a lot of others, like shows I've looked at, has the same amount of episodes in their seasons.
I
Also,
guess.
Also,
But
season 1, we had breaks. Like we'd play 2 weeks and we'd have 2 weeks off. This last, they didn't take any breaks. They went right through. Every week was one.
really,
Yeah.
well, I guess the reason why it felt so short this season was because y'all had so much cool toys to play with this year, and it was so freaking exciting. And I just to sit there and listen to Brandon explain these things to me, how this works, and how much he enjoyed this. Oh yeah, I got this and I got this. I was like, wow. And it's pretty much irrefutable evidence, if you ask me. I mean, I thought K2s and all that stuff when they first came out were freaking awesome. And then as time kind of went on and I was learning that the freaking infrared cameras were setting them off, your cell phones were setting them off. And it's like, okay, sometimes I can guess it works, but that freaking camera that uses the photons and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible.
That CD camera is amazing. I call it a magic camera.
Mm-hmm.
It catches all types of things. And my husband, he's not a skeptic, but he's not like he's kind of like, that's your thing. And if I show him something, he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I showed him some of the footage that we've like captured using that camera. And he's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, exactly. What the hell is that? Like, we can't explain it, but something's obviously there. Otherwise the camera wouldn't be picking it up.
Like,
so
was it the first show when y'all had that body kind of come around the corner?
that was Fort Stanton.
Was it? I could not remember. I was trying my best to remember. And but when you see that whole body kind of come around and you go back, I'm like, oh, unless somebody on the crew was doing that, that's an incredible find.
They were actually outside with me. When that image happens like that, there was one person in the building and it was Brandon, and he was behind it. He didn't even see that happen at the time.
Man.
So
Also,
we saw it look like something go across the windows of the door. I went outside with all the cameras, with all the production, everybody that's in there with us. I went outside to check it out. So Brandon was the only person in there.
Dude. And what amazed me too was that from the first show, I was like, oh man, how are they going to top this? Because I talked to Brandon before it even came out, and he was telling me all about the camera and how it worked and yada, yada, yada. And I was so excited. Then I saw it and I saw how it worked. I'm like, how are they going to top this? And for some reason, every week it just got better and better and better. And then the last one, I'm like, oh my God, how were they able to top all the other shows? And Mustafa was telling me that it's going to be even better next season. I'm like, oh, cannot freaking wait.
I know that every single time we would catch something and then we'd go to the next location to investigate, we were thinking the same thing. How are we ever going to catch something as amazing as that? Well, hopefully we catch something that, can build on that we can kind of understand it more of like the different types of manifestation and like different stages that maybe we're capturing at. And it seemed like every single time we used that camera, it would catch something. And it was like things that you can't see with your naked eye, which was amazing.
Well, and it's so scientific.
Yeah.
So, how are you going to dispute something that's scientifically proven right here in front of you?
Also, the amount of work that goes in to try to debunk each of these instances. You know what I'm saying? We spend hours and hours trying to figure out, we've got this image. Now let's try to figure out how we could recreate that image.
Yeah.
In Stanton, where the shadow peaks or whatever, me, Grant, and Brandon go in there. for well over an hour to 2 trying to figure it out. And it didn't stop there. We sent that footage out to the person that designed the camera. He sent it to people. So it went it went through all the proper channels and even more so. You know what I mean? Before we would say that we felt comfortable with that piece. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
That's what you don't get to see in 43 minutes of a show. They don't get to see everything that happens. They don't get to see, like, there's this moment where you're startled and then it goes to another team. Well, they don't show a lot of you go and figure out what made that happen. They go team and things like that. There's a lot that goes in. I mean, we're there for a week, sometimes even longer. And I wish they would play some of that stuff. Like a behind the scenes, watch how this really went down. And,
yeah. Well, I mean, Mustafa was telling me about the bridge, and that they heard a woman screaming or whatever, and then y'all found a cat or something down there. And
I had a cat. You said you have cats, right? And when when they're in heat or whatever, that's a sickly moan. You know what I mean? Like, it's a terrible sound. We just happened to be on the bridge. And it sounded like a woman saying, "Help, help." But it was just a cat in heat. And it was echoing off the mountains. So we were to, record that. I mean, it sounded just like somebody saying, "Help, help." And that was the claim that they had heard this woman who apparently drowned her children saying, "Help, help." And I mean, it was almost identical.
Yeah.
So, that wasn't in the show. We had other things. I mean, whatever. There's a lot that goes on that, people don't get to see, but I thought the episodes were good, and I'm very proud of what we accomplished. For sure.
One of the things that not a lot of people know is that cats actually have the ability to speak with their vocal cords, but they just, their brains don't function that way. So when you hear them howl and stuff like that, they're vocalizing.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, look up Oolong.
Here.
What's that?
I learned something.
Hey, look up the video Oolong Johnson cat.
Like right now? Or
you don't have to right now. I mean, unless you're just bored and you want to.
No, I'm not bored. Make sure you text that to me, though, because I'll forget the name.
Okay, I'll send it to you when we get done.
Okay.
I'll just look it up and I'll send you the link. So all you got to do is click on it.
Okay.
It's hilarious. It was on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
I'll try to find the one that has the captions under it, what it sounds like the cat saying.
I know that I've seen the video where there's a dog that sounds like it's talking with whimpering, or I think it sounds like it's saying "I love you" or something like that.
Oh yeah. I've seen that one. It's funny. So, Brian, what is your favorite piece of equipment that y'all have used so far?
Me.
Yes.
Me.
You?
Yeah, I know myself better than anybody, and I know. Okay, that's the real answer. But equipment, for like a real piece of equipment, I like the. I don't know. This season, I like the body cam.
Body cam?
Yeah, because I don't know, something interesting about this body cam is you place it on there, you kind of forget about it. When you're walking around these dark halls and you've got a camera with you and you're checking things out, you're expecting to see something every time. With that body cam, you just slap it on, do your business. You don't even pay any attention. And what Daryl was able to capture on his body cam in Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite pieces of evidence that I've ever seen. And he wasn't, I often feel like these entities aren't meant to be seen unless they want. And if they didn't know that camera was there, because it doesn't put off a lot of light. That's why I think he caught it. It's because of that. So I'm going to say the body cam.
Oh, wow. What about
It's
you,
got good audio.
Oh, I hear you.
So I'm an audio girl, and my favorite piece of equipment is the binaural microphone.
Oh yeah, that's
I
cool.
love that thing so much. You can hear everything. And I know that when we were in Clifton and I heard that man say, like, kind of like repeat me, that was amazing because I was hearing someone say something in real time and it wasn't any of us. And then also when we were in Madison Seminary and I could hear walking and was telling Brian where the walking was and like when he was trying to communicate, which was really cool. I just like it because audio is just in general is my favorite because I feel like you can get so much more of a story. Visual is always cool and it's exciting when you see something, but you can't get as much information as you can from like an EVP that you've got, because that you can determine if it's a man, a woman, a child. Sometimes you can kind of tell like about how old you think they are, and depending on what they're saying, whether or not it's residual or intelligent. And so I love audio stuff, but the binaural microphone by far is my favorite thing, my favorite toy.
Sweet. The weirdest EVP that I've ever captured. We did a house in Spring, Texas. I don't know if you know where that's at, just north of Houston. And anyway, the people that had lived there had moved out. So the place is completely empty. No furniture, no nothing in this place. And anyway, we stayed the whole night, and we left a digital recorder going in this one room. And when I went back to listen to it, for like an hour, it sounds like a woman having sex. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it was for the whole hour.
Well,
Like,
hell.
where the hell did they come from? It's not like you could hear the neighbors or anything.
Yeah. Remember when we left, not we, but our team left a recorder in that one room in Pocatello just for the whole entire night rolling? Brian?
Yes.
Brian and I listened to 8 hours of nothing. Like we were sitting there like trying to pay attention, but also like trying not to fall asleep.
That's the last time that.
Yeah, that was the last time that happened. We're like, guys, because I think that we had forgotten that it was in there. Someone had planned on going, but we're like, we have 8 hours. We have to listen to it because we're like, what if something's phenomenal on here? And we didn't listen to it because there was just no noise whatsoever the whole time. And like occasionally you would hear us like walk by the room or something, but you could tell it was us. And that was absolutely miserable. I was like, 8 hours.
I can't stand sitting listening for an hour or two, much less 8 hours.
Yeah.
Of nothing.
Yeah, we were dying.
I bet. Oh, just get me out of here already.
Also, like, if you think you hear something, like, how far you rewind it, there's no telling how far you rewind it because there's no, like, marker and they're like, oh, well, I heard this, so I know that it was before that. I think I heard something after this part, or I heard it before this part. There was no marker, so it was like, well, I don't know. And it was in the beginning because we had just we were using the MacBook and neither Brian nor I had a MacBook. So we were like, getting used to using that piece of equipment or to go over, evidence, and we were miserable.
I still don't even.
Yeah.
Gosh. So whether it was on air or not on air, on camera or not on camera, what was the funniest thing that happened to y'all the whole time you were out and about?
The funniest? I'm still going to say when Brian fell down the stairs. I can't help it. It wasn't him falling down the stairs. It was the conversation that followed. Because I had laughed, no matter what I asked him, I was going to get like a smart ass remark back, which only made the laughing worse. I watch it sometimes still. I have it on my phone, the full clip, because it goes on for like 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Like some days when I feel like I'm like down or I need a good laugh, I'll watch it.
Yeah, she watch her friend fall. That's great.
I don't see you fall. I just look out there and you're on the ground like a dried up bug. Like,
Well, didn't Kristen fall on one of the shows?
yes, and I also have that on my phone, but that's not a laughing one.
Well, I was fixing to say, I know that one wasn't funny because it looked like it hurt.
Oh my, I don't know how she didn't break something.
I would say like one
for her.
parts
I was looking at her face.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
What?
I was breaking up.
Said he was breaking up.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
And what's the name of that show? Anyways, man.
Good. Ghost Adventures.
Oh, so we did this. We did this special.
Yeah, the special.
And yeah, I ate a bug during like my introduction. Like this bug just flew in my mouth. And on TV I just ate a bug. Like it was no big deal. I also had a bird shit on me in Clifton. I hit my head several times. And when I get, I guess, a little bit nervous, I don't know if it's nervous, but when I'm interviewing people, sometimes I take on their accents and their emotions, and it's pretty awesome. It's terrible.
He does this in everyday life though. Like we'll be hanging out, and if we're with a group of people, and if anybody has a quirk about them, like the way they talk or like a mannerism or like a tick of some sort, he will be picking it up by the end of the night and doing it too. And it cracks me up because I just wait for it. I'm like,
I don't mean to.
No, it's like subconsciously he picks it up.
I hate to see what you do after you get off the air with me.
I think you're doing perfect. Oh, it's like, this sounds terrible, but this, I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
This lady was, I mean, she was shaking quite a bit, you know, like, and as I was talking to her, I realized I was doing the same thing.
Oh, no.
Not realizing it. It's just I started doing it, and she says to me, "Yeah, I know I'm shaking, you dick." And I was like, "What? Am I shaking?" I didn't mean to do it, but I'm really not a smart guy.
That's not true.
I don't believe that.
He's very smart. He just has little things about him that he picks up that he's a character. He's hilarious. But you are smart, Brian. So shut up, you dummy.
She's going to end up hitting you.
He has.
I have. Should I tell that story?
Oh, go for it.
Should I tell that story of me hitting you?
Do your thing.
Do that thing. So the day before, Brian tries to pick a fight with his wife on the phone.
Oh, no.
And he's like, "You want to fight? Let's fight." I'm standing next to him, like going like this, like this is not, take this from a wife. This is not, a conversation is not going to end well for you. Like, do not do this. And he's like, "Come on, let's fight, blah, 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 blah." Well, Michelle ends up, she hangs up on him because he's kind of being a dick. And I told him, I was like, do not ask for things unless you want it to happen. Like, obviously, if you say you want to fight, let's fight, you're going to get in a fight with her. And he was like, okay. Well, the next day we were sitting in the car and he was kind of being dumb. He was in a little bit of a mood. And I told him, I said, if you keep saying stupid shit, I said, I'm going to punch you in the face. And he said, do it. Punch me in the face. So I punched him in the face. And he goes, you hit like a dude. Why would you do that? I said, what did I tell you yesterday? He says, don't ask for things I don't want. I said, exactly. It's like, I'm going to teach you the way I teach my kids. If you keep getting in my bubble, I'm going to slap you. And then you're a smart ass and you get in my bubble, I'm going to slap you.
Social distance.
Yes.
Wasn't one of my best moments. It hurt.
Well, did you learn a lesson? That's the question.
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
Still pick fights. I still ask to be smoked. And I still get it. I'm very stubborn in my age.
Well, fun fact, my wife's name is Michelle, and I know how Michelle's are, so.
Try having your wife named Michelle, your best friend named Richel. That's awful. I mean, it's not awful. I love them, but
He's telling tales now.
No.
Sometimes you want to say something to one of them and you end up saying it to the other one because their names are so close. Like when we were in Wendover. Was it Wendover?
Yes. We were in Wendover.
Anyways, I was about to plug in this electrical outlet. I was plugging in a cord, but I was doing it wrong, and Richel saved my life. As I was doing this, I said to the camera, Michelle, I want you to know that I love you and all that, but it was really low, so I had to look at the camera and say, that was Michelle, ma.
He said with a ma sound.
Yeah, it was because, I wish there was like a Michelle and like a Lisa or something. I don't really want it to be Lisa, but.
Well, I almost made the mistake of calling my wife Michelle my ex-wife's name, so don't ever do that.
No.
Yeah, but you're in the doghouse if you do that, for sure.
I don't want ex-wives.
Yeah, I don't want mine either, so.
There you go.
We have something in common. But no, my wife's wonderful.
I feel like basically what people are finding out about us on this podcast is that we're abusive to each other. We hit each other, and Brian gets my name and his wife's names confused.
And this is admissible in court, so just to let you know.
Cool.
Well, believe it or not, we've been on this for over an hour, so I don't want to keep y'all any longer from your family, so we'll end it here. And I want to thank y'all for joining me. And I know I've been bugging y'all for some time now, and seems like one thing after another was happening.
It's all my.
Hey, dude, you don't worry about nothing. You had your thing going on, and that's more important.
Well, I try to. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Very welcome. And I want to thank everybody that's joined us on the show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to having another wonderful show for y'all, and have a great evening.
Thanks for having us.
Poor boy.